Scusa, ragazze, l'avete vista?
Sorry, I don't speak Italian.
Sorry, I don't speak Italian.
Above the sea, and this story stays with me like a haunting melody. What do spirits say? What do spirits say in a darker day? What do spirits say? What do spirits say? What do spirits say in the darker days? What do spirits say? I wanna know your dark side. I wanna know your secrets. I wanna be your lifeline. So I wait for you, wait for me. Wait for you, wait for me. Tell me you're more than just a highlight. Pretty pictures on the outside. I hate to stare at you through these lights. So I wait for you, wait for me. Wait for you, wait for me. Click and scroll, I can't let you go. They say I'm addicted to you. Click and scroll, I can't let you go. They say I'm addicted to you. Oh, oh, this ain't love, no, no. This ain't love, no, no. This is artificial. understand where it came from, but you got it, my got it. It began in the land of the sandstorm. I fought it, though I wanted everything to do with what you give to me. Loosening my grip as pulled you into me. When I let you go, it just pulled you closer. It's a long departure. It's a long departure. Before I see you again, before it all makes sense, but I can't hold you back. And I still don't understand where it came from, but you're back in with the passion. I'm awake with the flame in a hailstorm. I'm back in, I gotta have it. Everything to do with what you give to me. Loosening my grip as pulled you into me. When I let you go, it just pulled you closer. It's a long departure. It's a long departure. Left behind, and I've lost everything. Forever living in the dark. I feel so alive, still remembering what I want, but it ends with you. Candlelight has gone out. Some will win and some will lose. Nothing much else to say. Thought I was searching for something. Door has closed, not a sound. Take a look as I am now. Still I smile but don't speak. Will you please slow down? Slow down. Unreal intertwined, and you're not listening. It is your choice to make a little mockery, it won't do. Further down the line, still surrendering, trying harder to forgive you. Candlelight has gone out. Some will win and some will lose. Slow down, slow down, slow down.
On my clock, in this cock, mask on my face. Hesitate to give me some, I'ma catch a murder case. On my clock, in this cock, mask on my face. Hesitate to give me some, I'ma catch a murder case. I'ma catch a murder case. On my clock, in this cock, mask on my face. Hesitate to give me some, I'ma catch a murder case.
Welcome everybody, and here we are for the Kyalami round with a bit of damp surface. I'm a bit undecided because it's damp, but it's certainly going to be drier since it's not raining anymore. Welcome everybody for round number 5 of the Master League in Formula Racing League. And now that I look at it, this one is wrong. No, it's correct. Apologies for being late, but unfortunately the lobby, as you can see, just came on a bit later than the usual, so we are here as always for our qualifying and then race, a 60-minute race around the Kyalami racetrack, which until 3 months ago it was also rumored to be a part of, well, not the 2025, but at the very least the 2026 Formula 1 calendar. It will not happen, quite certainly, at this point. So it was certain since the very beginning, though, but now it's practically sure. As I said, dump track, which is likely to be getting drier as time passes. Only 24 drivers, unfortunately, for tonight's round, and majority of the people are in the pro class. It's 30 degrees, so it's fairly hot, and this will also be the location of the last endurance event of the year, and considering this game's lifespan, I think it's one of the last endurance races that will also ever happen in this game altogether. So It's certainly one of the last races for many, probably me included. So yeah, it's worthy if you still if you're fancy to have a drive in an endurance round. This is quite literally one of the last opportunities you have to be part of an endurance race, as the 9 hour will conclude the championship, which effectively already concluded with a win already assigned, but this is more towards anybody else who is willing to have a blast at a 9 hour race. In any case, our drivers tonight are setting the lap times as I was speaking, and we have our first lap time at a 47.802 in these conditions. I don't really have a benchmark. The best moment to place a lap is very likely the very last, so I suspect some people will be very close to the finish line. As Rush sets a 46.5. I'm not really pumping up the numbers and the lap time, since effectively every single lap time that will be put is essentially worthless, as the tracks gets better and better every single second. So it's just a game of who crosses the line last. As it stands, anybody could be the driver who sets the very last lap time. As a matter of fact, Curtin is already setting a whole second improvement over himself, and it's likely the same for everybody else as the track becomes greasy, as Besselink puts the car in second. But as stated, it's pretty much useless to know that. Tom Curtin went off track, so the lap time that has been put is not a valid one, but obviously it was also 47.8, but that's not really an issue since there is plenty of time. Rush puts another improvement and now sets the benchmark on 1:45.2. 1.5 seconds away, it's Besselink with the car 460. But as I said already way too many times, it's all provisional. As Karner puts together a 44.7, we are getting closer and closer to an impossible, quite surely, 40 or 39 even, but much likely a 40. But that will not happen. It's way too wet, and it will remain too little grippy. Rush is also on his way to improve for the 4th lap in a row, as Deschamps put the car in 4th. I'm seeing Davidson in 9th. As Karner is now in 2nd, as Curtin put the car on pole for roughly 25 seconds, as Kyalami steals that shortly after with a 44.3. As opposed to the last round in Bathurst, this time around the silver class will certainly be behind every single pro. In any case, I don't think it's realistically possible to see a single silver driver in front of any single pro driver, since the track will get drier and drier. So now best increase en route to set an effective purple lap. Slightly on the grass, but that shouldn't be too much detrimental to his performance. And as a matter of fact, he actually doesn't. He just missed that on the last corner and put the car 42 milliseconds away, but he still has 2 minutes and a half. So I'll say 2 laps at best. Scorving is in the same path. Unfortunately, the livery is not showing, with the Shong in 4th as Reyes put the car in 2nd. As I think Reyes did the very thing I mentioned very early on. He just exited from the pit at the very last moment to be able to put the last laps on the track. Corving sets the provisional purple lap with 44.315, 40 milliseconds below the former pole lap. Reyes now is 5 tenths with a very nice livery. He's well, now the track is green, so I'm certain that we will see a very good improvement by pretty much everyone. Matter of fact, Reyes is currently going an entire second faster than himself. Same goes for the Shong, same goes for Kanner, same goes for Davison, 3 seconds better than himself. But same goes for Corving, which is currently in pole position. And the number 97 gets the provisional pole with a 43.097. Corving currently chasing for that lap, and it's very much possible that he will be able to do it, but will he be able to make another lap? The answer is narrowly, but yes. As you can see, 12 minutes to go is the marker. Corving goes in pole. I think Curtin did it too. And the number 72 is in pole with Curtin following. And now everybody else who crosses the line has its qualifying lap done. So Curtin, I think Curtin and the McLaren behind of Davidson are the last 2 cars. They crossed the line in time. So at the moment we've got Corving, Curtin, Reyes. And Curtin is not in the lobby anymore, but I think he'll be able to jump back in. So this connection issue, unfortunately, because it was also improving. In fact, Curtin is back and is not anymore. So he disconnected for a tiny bit. As I was saying, oh, Assetto put the car in pole, 42.8. Curving is third since Rice put the car in first. 42.7. But I'm looking at the car 107. Look at this. The GT3 RS in 7th is now in P number 1. That's position number 1. That's pole, the purple lap. But it's not over yet. Curving is effectively the last lap. The last car on the best possible lap. And that's going to be second place. Not even third for Curving after missing on the final corner on the improvement. And he will start from third in class, 72 milliseconds away from Karner, and with a 42.7. Put the car just behind the front duo, as Curtin is back in the lobby, but unfortunately only 6th. So obviously the pro drivers from 13 different positions will likely struggle at the very beginning of the session with a green track, which is going to get better and better as the time passes and the mileage progresses. But for now it's going to be quite difficult. I think the first car that will cross the line is the car number 555, which is David Hill here in the Subaru Heritage livery, and behind there is a Bentley which went off track, so this lap will not be valid for Nopek, and same goes for Senatore behind. So Hill effectively sets the first time lap. It's a 42.1, half a second in front of Karner, and as I said earlier, I don't think we'll see any pro behind any silver. Santa Maria goes in second. And Alfano is actually on pole. 42.0. Merrily in front of Hill, with Zoranovic there in fourth as Benjamin Eck in car number 51 put the car in first. The 41.9. Still 1.5 seconds away from what is possible to do. As Murasaki goes in fourth, the car number 777. And everybody is obviously improving the lap, especially the car that set an effective benchmark lap. So Castrignelli, Relano Mesa and Olson are the ones I'm looking at. Without mentioning the cars that obviously didn't set a lap at all for track limits. Keenan, Senatore and again Nopek with an order of track. As the track becomes fast, so more grip. And Keenan sets the provisional pole position lap with a 41.782. But I'm looking at the Mustang here. She's going quick. But Alfano second on the grid. His teammate is still in ninth. As Zoranovic put the car in sixth. As Mikos put the car in now fourth, since Seki is back in pole. Quick in the pits and back on track. As Murasaki is back in... He's actually in pole for the first time this season. Murasaki sets the fastest lap, 41.632. Although, behind him, everybody is on a rush. Vella is setting his best sectors, so same goes for Hill, same goes for Keenan, same goes for Alfano. So it's tied for the lead. As Hill narrowly, but does it. He is in pole, 41.605. But Keenan steals it right after that. And it's P1 for Keenan. The Irish driver goes in a 41.4. Olson gets finally in front of the silver class. And Vella is now in 6th for Gladius competitions. Murasaki again. Seems like this Aston Martin now is very quick. The only Aston Martin, no, yes, it's the only Aston Martin in the Pro Field and the second overall. But 777 is flying this evening. There is currently a 3 times gap from himself, which gets reduced since he missed the last corner, and unfortunately he won't set the pole up. He just sets the third fastest time, but there is a chance for the Japanese driver to get in pole. And same goes for Hill, so I'm putting my chips on 4 drivers. I'm not really sure who can get the better end of the stick here, because both, all of them, Hill, Ek, Nopek, and Hill, Ek, Murasaki, Apollos, and Keenan are all very quick. And it all comes down to who says the lap last. So it's a race to get last, ironically, since the further you go, the further the track improves. And Hill now is in pole, 41.257. We are getting on 40s territory. But as I say this, the 48 is also having a good time. Hill goes back in the pits with less than 3 minutes to go. Just enough for 2 laps. On the edge of the track limit. He unfortunately lost a tiny bit in the last sector, and the gap goes from 3 times to just short of 1. Second place for the Polish driver. As Murasaki has to be quicker, because he just has a 25 seconds to go, otherwise he will not be able to improve himself. This is not moving. Doesn't seem like he's going to move. And it's over. Murasaki will start from at least 5th, but probably worse. Odd situation there. Murasaki chose to simply end it there. Although the track is getting faster and faster. That's an off track for Alfano, who unfortunately will have to abort this lap and go for the last one. Less than a minute to go. So a single lap for everybody. as Ukrainian driver here is improving his time. Whatever he makes, it has to be at least a tenth to get a position, and then 2.5 to get 2. But after that, it gets downhill. Even Zoranovic ends his qualifying session. As the checker flag waves. Oh, that's Mikos off track and into the pits. So apparently everybody is struggling to improve. Cotrinielli in 8th at the very last moment. From 18th, I think he was. It's quite unexpected because I thought the track was getting way quicker. That doesn't seem the case. The Lamborghini crashed on the last part of the circuit. That's going to be Vella just in 7th, so nobody improved in the last 4 minutes. And Murasaki actually stayed in 5th. So the grid is Hill and Nopek in the first row in Pro class, with Karner and Reyes in the front row in Silver class. But we will get to the starting grid and therefore to the usual drone lap. Just need to do this. And I need OBS, otherwise I can't do anything. Either way, here we are. Fast track. It will get probably Otium by the end of the race, but this is our starting grid with Hill in the blue McLaren and Nopek alongside, with Alfano behind and Keenan following. Then there is Murasaki in 5th and Eck in 6th. Vella and Cotrinielli follow in 7th and 8th, with Zoranovic and Mikos in 9th and 10th. Then Senatore, Santa Maria, Rolano Mesa and Olson complete the Pro class. Then we get to the Silver class with Karner in pole position in the 107 Porsche. The number 97 Aston Martin start from 2nd place. Then Corving and Kasitrash behind in 4th, with Wesselink and Curtin, Brown, Kuzmenko, then Deschong and Davidson at the very tail end of the pipe. So Kyalami, honestly, one of the most difficult racetracks there are. There are few exceptions to this, but I think Kyalami is one, if not the hardest racetrack in the entire game. Well, except Nordschleife, effectively. 16 turns. Starting with first. Oh wait, 19 just limped. I hope it's not. It's not an internet disconnection of some sorts. I hope it's not foreshadowing. As the formation lap starts with a cloudy weather, we get on the, I would like to say, straight, but in the middle of the straight there is already turn 1, which is the kink. This little right-hander here is considering is considered a turn, just like in Laguna Seca. And then we got turn 2, which is turn 1, effectively, but whatever, which is Crowthorne. You just brake here in the 100 braking point, aiming for the curb on inside, place where many overtakes and incidents happen. Then we've got Juxei sweep, 3 and 4, and then you have to brake while turning here for barbecue, turn number 5. Half straight here into the most interesting part of the circuit, which starts with sunset, turn number 6. You end, oh, Senatore into the pits, so an issue for Senatore at the very beginning. We start from the pit lane, so you start to brake where there is a little red marker on the wall on the right, and then here you brake roughly just before the curb on the right to get on the left corner, clubhouse, turn 7, over the curb on the right, not too much, otherwise you get on the grass and you effectively put dirt on your tires, which will ruin your entry into the S's, turn 8 and turn 9, over the curb twice. And here there is a track limit violation, which is quite usual to get into Lukop. Turn 10, hairpin with a braking point, with basically a blind braking point into this hairpin. As you go downhill, where you get the most of your car, under the billboard, into mineshaft, turn 12. You obviously do it flat into the crocodiles, turn 13 and 14. You have to brake roughly at the 100-meter board as the cars are getting side by side. To the right-hander, be alert for the left side of the racetrack as someone else. Why did I glitch? Anyway, I'll just follow this point. We just went over Cheetah, turn 15, the hardest of the racetrack since there is a curb on the inside, and then turn 16, which is the last corner, Ingue. But here we are for the very start of the race. And green light, and away we go with a very good start by practically everyone. There is no real difference unless we count this one here between Nopek and Hill, with Nopek with a very good start compared to Hill. But Hill has the inside into turn 2, but nothing really happens there. I'm more interested behind with Murasaki on the outside, but there is Nopek actually getting the place from the outside on the McLaren driver, which started on pole, and that's also Keenan on the inside on Alfano, which is now in 4th place in a 1-1-3 Ferrari. Behind the 51 gets the position done on Murasaki, as Keenan in the Mustang gets the overtake done on Alfano. Next does the same on the Japanese driver in 777, just in front of Vella in the number 19 in 7th place. There is a side-by-side there between Carr and Cotrignelli in Proclass, but Carr already in 10th place overall, so a nice one for him. Back here, Casitra, she's struggling against Zoranovic in 888, which actually lost some positions, and that's going to be Rice trying an overtake. Oh, that's Cotrignelli off. Oh, the Rice gets hit, and there is a massive incident among, I think that's Rice and Brown. So mayhem happened. We will have a better view from here. Was it a contact, or was it just a loss of traction? for the number 37. Oh, it was actually the McLaren going full sand, which unfortunately brought a chain reaction, with Curtin then creating more incidents, which unfortunately put out Rice 2, which is now only 21st. And he was starting in second in class as Rice himself now goes alongside Davidson. So mayhem sparkled from there. Maybe we can have a better look, huh? From here. So look at this first hit, and then a second hit from Curtin, and a few other hits here and there for Rice, unfortunately. So also damage that has to be repaired. A better visual from the outside also. So also the number 3 was involved. But back in live, as Keenan is thinking about an overtake on Hill. As also Curtin is trying an overtake from the outside on Cassette Rush. That's for third place in class, and that happens just there in the Crocodiles. So now Curtin is looking forward for Besselink. Little mistake by Hill, but I don't think anything really happened there. Keenan's strength is likely the straight line speed. As you can see, the McLaren gains loads in the technical zone. With the Mustang strength practically confined in the simple gas pedal. Ooh, there is a car off, it's Curtin. Oh, Curtin is stopped on track. What happened to the driver? Oh, you cut too much. Oh, that was curving. Going out of the racetrack to avoid Curtin half spinning. Behind Senatore. Oh, there is a contact, and the Lamborghini is off into the gravel, and then the grass. No cars involved other than his own one, but that's a contact between Curtin and Deschamps, with Curtin on the inside of the very Porsche that created the spin for the Italian. As in front, Corvin gets the position down on Santa Maria for a very brief moment. So unfortunately now Senatore is just 21st. And the Mustang now goes on the outside, trying the overtake the same way Nopek did at the very start, but that doesn't happen for him. Just behind it's Curtin, which is side by side with Deschamps. On the inside he gets, and that's a position done for Curtin on the Porsche driver, who narrowly loses the car on the grass, and that's also behind Rice, who gets the position done on the Deschamps. That's 17th place overall, and 6th in class for the Belgian driver, who was starting in 2nd in class. Senatore is now, little contact I think with the McLaren, but he is now ahead of Davidson, who oversends the car, nearly taking out the Lamborghini in the process. Asvella is now glued to Murasaki's rear end, even more than before. matter of fact, I think he had to slow down a tiny bit to avoid the contact with the Japanese driver, who I think will overshoot the car. Okay, he didn't. It was just very, very precise. As Hill is now extremely close to getting overtaken by Keenan. But again, that didn't happen. It's likely Alfano who is going to pressurize Keenan into a mistake. As you can see, this is a VIP seat for the battle. Four-way battle for second, as Novak is again having a very good race, to say the least, as the car number 72 is off. That's curving. So was it again Curtin gets involved in another incident, effectively initializing a murder there. Oh, there is also contact with, I think, a Ferrari. I think that was the car number 37. Very likely. Yeah, it was the car number 37, so unfortunately Cotrignelli is second to last now. As we just witnessed a pit maneuver from Curtin, now in 4th place in class, but I guess some penalties will be applied. Oh, that's the Ferrari off into the distance, and number 19 gets overtaken by Mikos. And that was extremely close to a disaster for Vella, as the Italian cut too much into the curb, narrowly saved the car, and gave up a position in the process. But the Gladius competition car remains on, well, at least in the race. Kanner in all of this is 9th overall, nice one for him. 1st in class and short of 10 seconds ahead of Kasitrash. We just overtook Bethlink for 2nd place in class. As we get back here, Zach lost an eternity, I suppose for a mistake of some kind. As a car number 78 remains close to Hill in triple 5, 3 seconds away from well, the car in 1st place. As the pole or polish, I never understood how to say it, is ahead of everybody. 2.8 seconds currently in front of Hill. Narrowly ahead of Keenan and Alfano, as Cotrignelli is into the pits. Alfano very close to create a double overtake. I don't think those positions will be gifted to him. Extremely close to the Mustang, going to the left, but there is no space available for an overtake there in the SS. He has to stay behind, but by doing the fake maneuver to the right, to the left, apologies, I can't recognize and distinguish the left to right. Alfano lost a tiny bit of time, which put the car 4 times away from Keenan, automatically denying him a chance for an overtake here in the Crocodiles, which goes the other way around for Keenan. Opec sets another purple lap, 41.147. At this point, nobody is close to him. Hill braking very late to try to stay ahead of his opponent, but I think something may happen here with Keenan on the inside. There isn't enough space available, nor difference in speed, but this may help Alfano, who goes on the outside, thinks about it, maybe goes for a cutback, as the Mustang shortly lost the rear there, as Olsen is falling. Oh, he's into the wall. Was it a contact? There was a contact. It was with, oh, it was just an unfortunate contact with Bestlink, which put the car out of contention. It was Olsen going over the curb, jumping, and then ending up in Bestlink's door, with the 966 having the worst end of the story. And that's going to be Keenan. On the inside he goes, as Hill tries to answer the question of who is going to be in second, and the answer actually is I'm not really sure about it, because it was Hill for a brief moment, but I think it is Keenan now. On the outside he goes off the last corner. Little contact between Alfano and Hill, and that's going to be actually the position for Eck, number 4 to be exact, with Keenan in second and Hill now in third, maybe fourth, as Eck goes for the dive on the inside, with Hill still there. A bit of track, that's a track limit very likely, but that's also Eck in third place. And another overtake happens there, very likely, with Hill getting overtaken by both Mustangs, but there is a chance that also Hill will get overtaken by Alfano in the car 113 behind. There was a thought, but there isn't a concrete chance at the very end. But this puts Hill out of the podium in effectively not even a quarter of a lap, with Eck being in the perfect position to make gains. Alfano now very close to Hill, and probably very angry for positions, since Alfano lost position. Oh, that's Hill completely missing the braking point, and thus putting Hill in 5th place. In a single lap, Hill went from 2nd to 5th. It's not over yet. Little contact between the two, but I think Alfano will stay ahead of the McLaren driver, who goes for, well, who thinks about a move, but in the end nothing really happens, and thus he'll effectively put the car from 2nd to 5th in a single lap, thanks to Keenan's perseverance, Eck's opportunistic move, and then falling because of the pressure from Alfano behind. third 8 Knopek still remains ahead without any real trouble. 41.2 was the last lap for Knopek, and Keenan's last lap was a 41.395. So the gap keeps getting bigger and bigger for the Polish driver. Karner, on the other end of the field, currently 9th overall, but first in class. He has 15 seconds lead over Kasitrash now in second place, and Curtin behind with likely penalties pending on his name. As the Shong 2 went in the pits. Oh, that's Curtin off into the wall. So that's Besselink now in third place. Now Curtin is off the chart for a podium finish. You can see he put the car on the grass by mistake. I don't think he has a substantial damage, but that's certain to be an issue for his race overall. As well, he's very close to Mikos in 7th. Currently Alfano is just behind Eck, having up the hill by a whopping 2.7 seconds. So it's clear the hill is either demolishing his own tires or having an issue of some kind with the pressures, or simply something isn't correct with his car. As also Murasaki is getting closer to him, now he's just 1 second behind. Breaking way later than Eck, a bit too late maybe. Undergoing the lapping procedure for the Shong there. The 113 goes and follows Eck. Whilst behind her, Murasaki is just behind Hill, but Mikos also follows, and Vela just behind too. So effectively, four-way battle for 5th place, with unfortunately the pole sitter ahead of the train. As Vela maybe gave up. I'm not sure, since the car keeps glitching on and off from the racetrack. I'm not sure where he is, and he in fact exploded. Unfortunately, he was lagging way too much, and I think he got involved in a ghost contact with whichever car it was. Yeah, the connection is not correct, and unfortunately I was also correct in the foreshadowing thing. And now I can't Okay, now I'm also glitched. I don't see. Oh no, my race control crashed. No. Oh no, that's a problem for me. Wait. Not connected. I know you are not connected. Can you at least disconnect? Okay, so effectively Marcovella crashed my own race control. That never happened. Okay, I need it back. Oh no. This is a real issue. I can't connect anymore. Oh no. I need to try a thing. This never happened to me. I swear. For once that everything was going normally. Oh no. The server crashed, apparently. I can't see it anymore. Oh no, okay, can I?
Green light. Go, go, go.
Okay. It's back. Just need all my things back. As there is also an overtake opportunity just now. Here it is. No, obviously I need you. Azek has been overtaken by Alfano just now, who just went in the pits too, and Murasaki gained an eternity of time on Ek, and he is third, so I suppose something happened between the two, unfortunately. I have no idea what happened. All I know is that Hill is back in third. Ooh, there's a car off. Ooh, the 966 is off. We just went on the grass and then into the wall. And other cars were involved there. So I suppose there has been some incident between Ek and Alfano since they were close to each other. In fact, the last lap was a 46.4 for Ek. So I suppose an incident happened. just to be sure, unfortunately, I will not show car number 19 since I'm... Oh, there is another contact there. Since I'm actually scared at this point of... Oh, there was a contact between 738 and the 37. The Ferrari hitting Brown and putting him off track as Eck goes back in the pits to counter-attack the undercut from Alfano, sacrificing the longevity of the tires. As Murasaki is now 1.4 seconds behind Hill. As Alfano is now in the last corner, and Eck just exited pit lane. You can see Alfano there, but I think it's going to be side by side for position between the Italian and the Swedish driver. But in the end, the Ferrari stays where it is. He has to brake to avoid contact. It was a bit on the offensive for Eck, but he maintained position on the Italian. It's now Eck in front of Alfano for overall 15th place, but it's going to be very likely 4th place in overall once the pit stop phase ends. As Murasaki is back in close proximity with Hill, but will stay with his fight because I think it's still going on between the two. Alzolanovic also goes into the pits. Ferrari can do anything in a straight line. It has to do moves in the braking points, which are plenty at the very least. Oh, that's Eck going sideways and giving the Ferrari driver an opportunity into the last corner, into Hugo. Into the inside he goes. Eck is on the outside, and it will also remain the outside since turn 2 is a left-hander, and you can see how quick the Mustang is in a straight line. But the Ferrari is better in the brakes. On the inside he goes, and that's the position done for the Ferrari driver, and Alfano is back in front of the Swedish driver, who is going to possibly go for an offensive maneuver on the inside there into barbecue. It doesn't happen in barbecue, it may happen in sunset. He goes and oh, there is a contact between the two, nearly a pit maneuver, nearly a crash altogether. The two risked way too much, but the Ferrari remains ahead of Eck. Well, for now at the very least, but I want to see it again. It was a bit too close. Look at this. That was a bit too close. Give me another view. Let's want this one. Look at how close it was. It was way too close to the edge of the end for both. And Nopek and Hill and also Murasaki still didn't pit, while Skinan is already in turn 4. So plenty of time for Keenan compared to his two opponents. But more importantly, Hill and Murasaki are still out, and I'm not really sure why, since they had the opportunity to go for the undercut on Alfano Neck to at least stay ahead, or try to stay ahead. They opted for the overcut, which doesn't continue, and the two of them both going to the pits. Scanner inherits the lead of the race. It's a 1-1-2. Senatore into the gravel. Something happened to the Lamborghini driver here. He hit the sausage. He did hit the curb and put the car just meters, maybe even less than a meter away from the wall. Snopek is comfortably ahead of everybody else. Currently 10 seconds ahead of Keenan, who is just in front of Hill. And Murasaki did too, so Murasaki is getting overtaken by the Ferrari, and that's a bit too much for Alfano, who goes on the grass. Oh, there is a car currently stopped on the middle of the racetrack. It's nearly free wide, and it's nearly another crash between Eck and Alfano, but this time it's going to be Murasaki ahead of the duo, who stays behind the Azure Aston Martin, still in 4th place in class. As the mission spin-off car effectively narrowly avoided a disaster and maintained the lead onto these two drivers, but more importantly for Hill, he's ahead of all three of them, and that's Heck going for a move which didn't make sense in any possible case and scenario possibly conceivable by the humankind, pushing out Alfano and creating his own door. And that's a position done for Heck, but I really don't think that was a fair one. We can have a better look of it from here. You can see braking as late as physically possible and utilizing the Ferrari as a bit of a help, to say the least. But now Heck's next objective is Murasaki in 7th place, just behind the car 707, which still needs to pit, but ultimately doesn't have to give the place to the trio behind. Even if I really think that they will take the position. Whether it's considered or not, but I think a gamer recognizes game, and the Ferrari lets... Oh, okay, there is another contact for Heck, pushing the Ferrari out of the racing line. Very much aggressive, huh? This evening. Scanner goes into the pits, possibly knowing that he has an eternity behind on Bethlink and Kasitarash, who is also fighting with Zoranovic. So he can overcut without losing anything, since he's not really battling with anyone in Pro Class. Back on the war front, as a Ferrari behind, I expect Alfano to send the car and not really caring about anything else. It doesn't happen there. It's actually Murasaki who overshoots the car, giving Ek the chance to make a pass on the barbecue, but it doesn't happen as apologies, as Murasaki. I don't know why I said Besselink. As Murasaki kept the outside, there is a little contact between Ek and Alfano, and the Mustang is still on the inside. There is likely going to be an overshoot. Okay, another push for Ek, and that's a bit... that's not even discreet, that's just straight up simmed on purpose, I'll be honest. As you can have a better look of it from this camera. Yeah, I think it was... it seemed very much on purpose, I'll be honest. I'm not one for opinions and whatnot, but that really seemed... an quote-unquote accident. Obviously, this is just benefiting Hill, who is now in third, 2.7 seconds ahead of Murasaki. But it's certainly going to be questioned after the race. The issue is that, well, for Alfano at the very least, the issue for Alfano is that the gap is now 0.9 seconds now, as his teammate finally disconnected after his car jumped out of the ship multiple times and re-entered just seconds later, but at the very end I think his connection gave up, marking it as a DNF for the other Gladius competition car. With a 41.4 and a 41.3, both the cars in 4th and 5th gained time on Hill. Still 2.6 seconds are a good chunk to gain back. Ooh, that's a bit of track there for Ek. As mentioned earlier, Karner went for the overcut because he could, and I just affirm the statement since he is in 9th, and he currently has a 12-second, no, apologies, an 8 seconds gap on Kasitarash, but with way better tires. So he actually lost 7 seconds for the overcut, but ultimately it's not really an issue for him. For now his lead remains solid, and if the problem arises, he will just push harder on the tires since he has them. Either way, we are still here for the fight for 4th place, which spiraled for a brief moment into a gunfight. And for now, it's a bit... okay, that was... I admit it was very close for Eck into putting the car airborne, going over the curb. As Deschangle lost the car, I think over the curb there. In fact, he put the car into the gravel, up to the wall, but this put him out of position. He's now behind Corvin in 16th. And Alfano is currently not gaining on the duo ahead. 16 minutes to go. And the gap between Muraraki and Hill went down on only 1.5 seconds. So the trio is gaining on Hill, and it's close to becoming a quartet. As another gap, the gap between Hill and Murasaki is a single second. Murasaki is just half a second in front of Ek, and Alfano is steadily but slowly gaining on all of them. The last laps is set the quickest times among all 4 drivers, as Corvin just passed Davidson for position in silver class, number 6 to be exact. Ooh, that's a bit off the line for Murasaki, which will give Ek a little chance. And there is a yellow flag showing. It's the number 15. Just stop on the racetrack. So probably some issues for the number 15. As the 4 drivers are now gapped by very little time, as Cosigny gets a drive-through for track limits violations. And now, between Hill and Alfano, there are only 2 seconds, with 4 cars in the middle of those 2 seconds. As the last 10 minutes of the game of high-speed chess start now. Murasaki always a bit too far away from the apex there into turn 2. At the last lap it was a 41.7 for Hill, it was a 41.2 for Murasaki, 41.4 for Ek, and a 1.3 for Alfano. Obviously the last lap is not really a good metric. A better metric is that Alfano gained half a second in the last 3 laps, and Hill lost an entire second in the same time. As Rice lost the car into just before the S's, was it? It was Clubhouse, and both Curtin and Besselink overtook him. But now let the sparkle shine. So I think we will see some fireworks into the end of the race. The issue will surely happen whenever Murasaki will try the overtake on hill, because that will sparkle the chain reaction that will group together everyone. As Alfano goes for the move away, and the next anticipated. Oh, there is a contact! It's an incident between the two, and both Ek and Alfano are off. Alfano spinning into the middle of the racetrack, and that's Mikos going in 5th place. All went downhill as quickly as possible. Massive situation between the two, which ended in, quite honestly, what everyone would have expected. Little contact between Ek and Alfano, with Alfano losing the position on Mikos and Ek losing the position on both Mikos and Alfano. In the meantime, so this puts the battle for third just between these two here. There was way too much heat between the Italian and the Swedish driver, and I have enough experience to say that only one thing would have happened sooner or later. It just happened way earlier than I expected. And that will surely be a discussion topic between the two. But in the meantime, there is a battle for the podium position, number 3, as the lead and the second place are going into the distance, with Nopek having a 12 seconds gap on Keenan, and Keenan himself having a 13 seconds gap on this duo here. As also Kanner improved the gap on Kasitarash on 13 seconds. So 2 dominant wins are possible in both classes. I also think that Murasaki's job will be way easier now that he doesn't have to think about what's happening behind, since behind the bomb already exploded. So last, I think 3 laps, very likely, since 20 seconds remaining, full 20. Yes, pretty much 2 laps remaining in this race. Maybe not. Maybe I think it's going to be 3 laps to the end. Since Nopek will likely just cross the line before the time expires. Which makes Murasaki happy, but I think he will be slightly less amused by this. The gap is close to nothing between the blue McLaren and the Azure Aston Martin. 777 against 555. Two completely different cars. One is mid-engine, the other is front engine, the one in front. Oh, they are both V8s. If I remember correctly, they are both V8s. At the very least. But completely different cars nonetheless. The second to last lap starts now, and Murasaki has the best possible chance just in this lap. Could there be a move into turn 2? Not happening. Maybe. And Hill, who started on pole, faced himself in P5, gained back on overcut, and he inherited P3, also thanks to some contacts which unfortunately we didn't see between Alfano and Eck. Well, one of them, the others were quite clear. And effectively a bomb exploding between the two, which put Hill back in third place, as Nopek crossed the line just 5 seconds before the time expired, thus giving Murasaki another final chance for an overtake. And maybe Alfano, the so wanted P5, as he is still behind Mikos, who is now in 5th after the incident in the hairpin into lookup. Murasaki now is further away than earlier on. And last lap he also lost 2 tenths, so quite honestly there is just another spot to make the move. It's not an easy one either. But maybe, just maybe, there is a chance for the Aston Martin here. There's some thought about this into clubhouse. Just off into the grass, narrowly over the curb. The first one, the second one. Oh, maybe there is a chance just here, because the McLaren exited wrongfully out of the S's into the inside. Murasaki goes, and that's goal. That is the move for third place, as the Japanese driver goes in front of Hill at the very last moment available, as Nopek crosses the line and wins the race in South Africa with a 17 seconds gap on Keenan. In second place he gets over the finish line, Kyalami 78, and Murasaki just at the very tail end. Oh, that's why Hill is out of fuel. Incredible scenario. The 555 is out of fuel and can't do anything, and Alfano goes ahead and Mikos does too in 4th place, as Hill can't cross the line. maybe, just maybe he can. Limping over the finish line in 6th place as Garner takes the flag and gets P1 in class with Ek in 8th, Zaranovic just behind, and Santa Maria in 9th, apologies, Zaranovic in 10th, Kasitrash in 11th, Besselink in 12th, just ahead of Curtin, who's still battling for position with the Ferrari driver. There is still a chance here into the last corner, nothing really happens, and the Assetto Racing team completes the race in 12th place and 3rd in class. Just in front of Curtin, as Rice goes in the number 97 across the line in 14th place. So massive tragedy for Hill, who just ran out of fuel at the very last moment. That's why the overtake happened between Murasaki and Hill. He wasn't simply slow out of the SS, he was literally out of fuel, and thus putting Murasaki in the podium position. But this has been certainly a race with a lot to unpack, with multiple contacts, incidents, and overtakes, and a few moments, let's say. But this is all for Kyalami tonight, because Saturday it's 9 hours of Kyalami, and then it's going to be Imola and Spa that will end the championship. But from Cristiano Romano here, it's all. Thank you all for having been here during the evening watching the race, and I will see you all on Saturday, both on track and on the commentary booth. Until then, have a good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world, and see you next time. Bye!